We accidentally bought VIP tickets to a concert.
Feeling good, like I should. And in Durga, walk around.
Me, me and my three best friends from college, Luke, Kyle, Tex, we decided after graduation we'll try to do a quarterly guys trip, go check out a new city, do something so we could explore the city and go to a cool event. One of our favorite bands, Surfaces, had a concert in Charlotte. It was on Halloween weekend. So we're like, oh, we gotta go. We did this we planned this like 2 or 3 months in advance, which is the most we've ever planned as a group of friends. Luke buys the tickets. He says it's 170. We're like, oh, it's kind of expensive. It's in Charlotte, so let's just pay it. A few more months pass. It's like a week or two before the concert, and Luke texts us, and he's like, hey, guys, I accidentally bought VIP tickets to the concert. And we're like, well, at this point, we're already going, and none of us, I don't think any of us have ever been to VIP, so let's check it out. So we go down Friday, concert's on Saturday, and I'll save our other stories from the trip for another time when I have those guys on. We're pre-gaming at our Airbnb, and then boom, we go to the concert. I was like, oh, I don't have my phone. And my buddies were like, oh, well, we got the ticket. It'll be fine. I'm like, true. We pull up to the concert venue. There's this huge line. We're like, oh, there's no way that's VIP. But let's just go to this little bar and get a buzz on so we don't have to pay for drinks once we're in the venue because everyone knows how expensive those are. So we're ripping some shots and drinks to get a buzz going before we head over. We're in this little bar for like 10, 15 minutes. And we're like, all right, let's bounce. So we go back to get in line at the concert. And again, we're thinking, this is our first time ever being VIP. So we're like, no way VIP people have to wait in that line. So we cut like 40, 50 plus people. We cut all the way up to like the front edge of the line. So the group of people start talking to us. And we're like, yeah, are you guys VIP? Because they're like, oh, yeah, we're VIP. We're like, oh. So is that the line for VIP? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, can we just slide in with you guys? So we cut the whole line, not even meaning to. And we got in. As we're going in, they got the security check in, right? But then we go and hand them our ticket. Well, they say, what's your name for the VIP list? And my buddy Luke gives them our names, and they're like, you're not on the list. And we're like, but we bought the tickets. Like, what do you mean we're not on the list? And they're like, no, we don't have you on the list. Like, we're sorry. And they check an online list. They don't have us. And this whole security team starts to form around us because my buddy Luke's a big dude. And he is the nicest dude. But, I mean, that's how we were all pretty much like, what the fuck? Like, we bought the tickets. And then you start panicking, right? You're like, oh, man, did we get scammed on the tickets? And Luke's like, no. Go get somebody else because I'm showing you the tickets right now. They scanned the tickets. The tickets are good, but they don't have our name on the list. So we're like sitting there like, what the fuck? Is this really going on right now? And me and my buddy Tex, we're just idiots. So we started laughing about the whole thing. 'Cause we're like, what the fuck? Are we really not about to get into this concert we drove all the way from Ohio to North Carolina to? Like, are you kidding me? They eventually let us in. And they were cool about it. They're like, that's on us. It's my bad. Okay, it's all good. We don't really care. So we go in. And as we're waiting in line to get pictures with the band Surfaces, which is just two guys, and we're like, look, you got to tell them about what just happened. Like, I feel like they'll find that hysterical because what are the odds of that happening? So as we go up, the photographer's like, give me one of your phones. I'll take a picture. You guys are like, cool. So we go up and we're like, bro, you guys aren't even going to believe what just happened. Like, we drove all the way down here from Ohio to see your concert, and we almost didn't get in. And we think that they're going to think it's funny. And Luke's telling them the story. They just seem so upset. They're like, oh, man, I'm so sorry that happened, man. That's terrible. And we're like, oh, man, we look like the biggest douchebags right now. Like, we weren't trying to make it look like we were bitching. We were trying to make it like it's funny. Because that shit happens to us every time we get together. Something ridiculous happens in any city that we're in. And it must just be the energy we attract or our own behavior. But something ridiculous happens every time the four of us are together. So we're trying to explain that to them. And they just take it the completely wrong way. They are like, you can tell they're borderline irritated and offended by what we said. We're like, nah, man, like, you guys really just don't understand. Like, there's always shit that happens. Like, that's what you wanted to say, but it wasn't even worth the explanation at this point because we killed the vibe, clearly. And you can tell they're just like, let's get these fucking dickheads their photo and get them out of line. we take the photos as we're walking by. We're literally talking to each other. We're like, man, we butchered that story. That was not, we did not look good. We should have told a different story because we have funny stories related to their music. We just told them that one thinking it would be funny and completely butchered it. We go into the concert, and it was pretty cool. We're like 4 rows back. It wasn't a very big venue, but we're only like 4 rows back from the stage itself. So it was really, really cool. The concert starts, and it had like two or three opening bands. I believe the name's band was like Versace or something like that. But we're just being idiots because that's just us, right? So we're super, especially me, in that setting, I could actually just be as rambunctious and loud and obnoxious as I want because it's a mosh pit. I got grilled the entire time because we were on the way there, and I called Surface's Surface. I knew it was Surface's, but I said Surface, and my buddies were grilling me the entire concert. They're like, "Oh yeah, Surface, great band." So I started yelling it up into the crowd. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I love Surface." And everyone's looking at me like, "Dude, I haven't saying the name right." I'm just yelling a bunch of obnoxious shit. We're jumping up and down. At the end of this opening band, they're like, "All right, Surfaces is coming out." But before they do, they start introducing themselves and they're throwing stuff out into the crowd. And again, we're probably like a couple hundred people back from, not even, we're probably like 50 something people back from the stage. But we're far enough back where as they're throwing stuff off stage that it's not coming our way. And it gets to the drummer of this band. And I'll never forget this shit. His name is Low Key Mid. Look him up. He's the coolest dude on Instagram as far as I'm concerned from a celebrity standpoint. Because he has his drumstick, okay? He signs his drumstick and he's like, "I'm throwing this to somebody who really wants it." So I'm not saying that I have ups, but for a white kid, I can jump. So I am just jumping up. And I think Kyle in text might have been like hoisting me up as I was jumping, but I'm screaming, "Throw me the drumstick!" And again, we had been drinking before. Once we got in there, we were taking turns buying around. So we're feeling ourselves. And I'm jumping up as high as I can. Like my calves are literally on fire because I'm just broad jumping as high as I can up in the air because I'm like, I'm getting this drumstick. The dude, I don't know if he saw me or just decided to throw it in my area, but he throws this drumstick, and I'm telling you, highest I've ever jumped in my life. And there was a lot of hands reaching around, but I'm like locked in on this drumstick, and that shit was like in slow motion, like it's spinning through the air. I went up, grabbed that shit, came down in the crowd. I'm like cradling this fucking drumstick. I still have it. This is proof right here. I go up in the crowd. I'm like fighting through some hands that come down. My buddies pull me back. I'm like, "I got it. I got it." And I don't know why I said it. It's the most stupid thing I ever said, but I have the drumstick in my hand and I'm like,
We have caught a live drumstick from Kanye West.
the live drumstick from Kanye West. And my buddy Luke videotaped. I didn't even know what was going on. It was just hilarious. And the whole time we're in there, because their music is literally for any age categories. We have everyone from people our age, college kids, high school kids, parents. It is just open range, absolute free for all of the type of people you're going to see this concert. There's these kids, literally kids and their mom behind us, and they're just grilling Luke for being 6'5" and standing there, like not even doing anything wrong, but everybody's just bitching about how tall he is. The entire opening set, they're just bitching and bitching and bitching. They're like, "Oh, it'd be cool if we could see around this guy." Like literally just harassing Luke for being 6'5". But I just wanted to turn around and be like, he can't fucking help that he's tall. We fucking paid for the tickets like everyone else. Leave us the fuck alone. I was encouraged not to do that, which is fine. But Luke's like, "Look, at some point I'm just gonna go walk out of this area." I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I hate to be a shitty friend in this moment, but I'm not moving. I've never been this close to a stage for a concert in my life. I'm staying here. So that was the concert itself. And I can't tell you enough just how funny it was that happened after we didn't even think we were getting to the concert because we thought we got scammed on tickets to catch a damn drumstick. I didn't have my phone for any of it. This is probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me as far as being at a concert goes. And I didn't even have a phone to show anybody what was going on. We Uber back to the hotel or back to our Airbnb after the concert. And my buddies are like, I can't. We're all just like we're all just running on adrenaline. I can't believe we caught a drumstick from the concert. That was sick. So I DM the drummer, and I was like, thanks for the drumstick, brother. It's sick. And he actually responded. So we're all like, "Let's go. This is sick." And the whole time we're doing that, I realized, oh, I didn't have my phone the whole time. So I get on my phone, and my mom and my girlfriend at the time, I probably had like 60 missed calls and text messages. My girlfriend, God knows what she thinks. Or she probably thinks I'm at some sketchy apartment in Charlotte doing God knows what. My mom was worried I got kidnapped. And I had to call him. We like FaceTime. We're trashed and showed him the stupid ass drumstick that we got. We're like, "Oh, the concert was sick. Sorry, I totally forgot my phone on the way there." So that was the experience. And then that night we went out in Charlotte for Halloween. And I've got some more funny stories about that I'll share later on. But that was just a hilarious concert and a great time, right? Like just the fact that And I think what everybody forgets is like when you do stuff like that, it is literally never about the event itself. It is who you spend that time with. Because like every group of guys goes on trips. It's about the guys they're hanging out with. Because every group of guys has their own vibe, their own energy. And that's why when they go out together, you see the videos and content that you do. Because when guys get together, it is literally just the only time where you could just be an absolute fuck off and do what you actually feel like doing. This is really the only time you're allowed to be yourself as a guy. In today's society, as a guy, the only time you're allowed to be yourself is when you're out hanging out with your boys. So that's why it was a great trip for us, and it just personified us as a group going to do shit. And again, shout out Services. We had an awesome time with that. It was a great experience. And VIP concerts. If you ever accidentally buy tickets, don't sell them. Keep them, because it was it was actually a really fun time. And the best part, I actually forgot about this. My buddy Luke had such a good time during the concert that he bought tickets to their tour in Cleveland, so he could go to he bought VIP tickets to their tour in Cleveland so he could go to that concert as a follow-up. So that was another hilarious story. And honestly, I'd recommend guys trips. I mean, as a guy, as a guy, we've done guys trips now for probably 2 years on and off. You get to go see a new city with people you enjoy, and it's always a great experience. And I mean, that's another thing. Just speaking on hanging out with your friends, like I hope my three, especially all my friends from all my close friends, but especially those three friends, I hope they know how much I miss them. Like in college, you get to live with your best friends, or in high school, you see them every day at school. So like that's definitely an adjustment for sure, and it sucks ass. Like I'd love to live with my buddies. I hope they just know, like, to those friends, like, I'd love to live with you guys. I'd love to be out with you guys more. But it's just one of those things. I chose this path, and 3 years ago, or however long it's been now, I told myself I was going to get to a point where we could make movies and podcasts about ourselves together. And I'm not there yet, getting there, but I just got to keep my head down and keep grinding, because it's one of those things. To my friends, you guys are the reason that I do this. My friends and family are the reason that I do this. They are the funny ones. It's not me. I wouldn't have anything to talk about if it wasn't for those guys. So I hope they all know that. And not to be dramatic, but I would rather you see me get put in the ground 6 feet under at my funeral before I see us not get to do this together here on Earth while we're alive. So hate to be dramatic and over the top about it, but that's just how I feel. With all that being said, again, highly recommend accidentally buying VIP tickets to concerts. To those three friends, freaking missed the shit out of you guys, and hopefully next time we're together, we'll be doing a podcast. Hope everyone's good. Talk some time.
Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more. I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it gonna get